Before the pharaohs of Egypt, before the gods of Olympus, a story was etched into clay tablets. He was 2/3 god, 1/3 man. A king who built walls that touched the heavens. His name was Gilgamesh, and this is his epic. This is not just a story of adventure. It is the story of humanity's first confrontation with... The people of Uruk cried out. Gilgamesh, their protector, had become their oppressor. His strength knew no...
He claimed every son for his army, and through the right of the first night, he claimed every bride for himself.
Oh, please deliver us from this terrible king.
We beg you, grant us release from this perfect nightmare.
Their prayers reached the ears of the gods. They knew that to temper the arrogant...
The task fell to Aruru, the goddess of creation. She would forge a soul from the wild earth itself. She washed her hands, pinched off clay, and cast it into the wilderness. From this divine...
And he drank with the beasts at the waterholes, a true child of the wilderness, disrupting the traps of men. One day, a trapper saw this wild man. His face went pale with fear, for he had never seen such a creature.
I have seen a wild man, Gilgamesh. He is strong like a bull, and he lives among the beasts.
Interesting. Tell me more.
He would not send a warrior, but a woman. The temple priestess, Shamhat, wise in the ways of civilization.
She approached him not with lust, but with knowledge. She offered him bread, the food of mortals. As he ate, understanding dawned in his eyes. He was more than just a beast. She gave him wine to drink, and his spirit was loosened. He began to sing, a human sound in the wild.
For 6 days and 7 nights, she taught him the ways of humanity. He was bathed, anointed, and dressed as a man.
He looked at his own reflection and saw not a beast, but a hero. A man ready to find his destiny.
But when he returned to his animals, they fled from him. He was no longer part of their world.
In Uruk, Gilgamesh rules with arrogance and might.
His cruelty knows no bounds. He would go to Uruk. He would challenge this Gilgamesh. He would teach him humility.
Who is this man?
He is like Gilgamesh in stature, but wilder, stronger.
He lived among the shepherds, protecting them, learning the ways of man, his strength a shield for the common folk.
One day, a man came to him with news. Gilgamesh was to claim another bride, to continue his oppressive right.
Enkidu's face grew pale with rage. This injustice would not stand. He set his face toward the city center. Gilgamesh approached the wedding house, expecting the usual fear, the usual submission from his people. But this time was different. A challenger stood in his path. Enkidu, righteous and strong, barred the door. Gilgamesh, the king, stared at the wild man. His amusement turned to fury. Who dared to defy him? The two titans locked eyes. For the first time in his life, Gilgamesh saw not a subject, not a servant, but an equal. They seized each other, snorting like bulls. The doorway shuddered. The walls shook. Their battle spilled into the public square, a maelstrom of divine strength that terrified the onlookers. For hours they fought, their power evenly matched. The city held its breath, witnessing a clash that would define its future. Gilgamesh, the master wrestler, could find no advantage. Enkidu, with the strength of the wild, could not be thrown.
The wild man pushed the king back. His untamed power, a force Gilgamesh had never known.
Finally, with his divine strength, Gilgamesh's knee touched the ground. He had won. The wild man was defeated.
But as his anger subsided, he looked upon Enkidu not as a foe, but as a brother. A soul as strong as his own.
He offered his hand. In that moment, the fight was forgotten. Respect had been earned on the dusty square of Uruk. Gilgamesh had found his other half, his only friend. And his tyranny over Uruk was over. The city rejoiced. The tyrant was gone, replaced by a king who had found not a subject, but an equal. Gilgamesh brought Enkidu into his home, a place of unimaginable splendor, a world far from the wild earth he knew. For the first time, the king's halls were filled not with fear, but with the sounds of true companionship and laughter. They walked the great walls together, Gilgamesh sharing his pride, Enkidu sharing his perspective. Their Enkidu spoke of the wild, of the language of animals and stars, teaching the king a wisdom that could not be found in cities. To solidify their bond, Gilgamesh took Enkidu to meet his mother, the wise and divine goddess, Ninsun.
She looked upon the wild man and saw not a beast, but a brother for her son, a protector for the king.
She performed a sacred ritual, praying to the great god Shamash to watch over the two friends in their shared destiny.
She placed a sacred token around Enkidu's neck, formally adopting him into their divine family.
From this day forward, you are no longer just friends, but brothers, bound by fate.
Their bond was unbreakable. Two halves of a whole, ready to carve their names into legend. But peace brought restlessness to the king's heart. To achieve true glory and make a name that would live for eternity. My friend, we will journey to the forbidden Cedar forest and slay its demonic guardian.
Enkidu's face grew pale. "I have seen the forest," he said.
His roar is the flood, his mouth is fire, his breath is death. He is a demon the gods placed to guard their sacred trees.
Only the gods live forever. A man's life is short. I will make a name for myself that will last through all time.
"What is there to fear? Stand by my side, and we will conquer all. Two men together cannot be defeated."
Enkidu's loyalty to his brother overcame his fear. He would face this demon by his friend's side. Their quest was set. The great smiths of Uruk forged axes that weighed 3 talents each, and swords of immense size for the two heroes.
They stood before the elders of Uruk. The old men gave their blessing, but with heavy hearts, warning.
And so, armed with weapons worthy of gods and the city's blessing, the two friends set out on their great adventure. For 6 days they traveled, covering in a day what would take a normal man a month and a half. They crossed scorching deserts and ascended towering peaks, their resolve tested with every step. Each night, Gilgamesh would pray for a dream, a sign from the gods to guide their path and steal their hearts. The dreams were terrifying. In one, a great mountain fell upon him, pinning him to the earth. But then, a beautiful man appeared and pulled him free from the wreckage, offering him water.
My friend, that mountain was Humbaba. But we will capture him, we will throw him down.
Another night, another dream. A wild bull gored him, its great roar shaking the very ground beneath him.
The bull is not Humbaba, but the glorious god Shamash, who will aid us in our moment of need.
At last, they reached the edge of the cedar forest. It stood silent.
Enkidu reached for the gate, but his hand was struck numb, his arm paralyzed with a chilling fear. But Gilgamesh reminded him of their bond. Two men, standing together, cannot be harmed. We will face this evil side by side. Stealing their nerves, they entered. Inside, the forest was a place of silent, ancient.
And then they heard it. A roar so powerful it split the trees and
he emerged from the shadows. The forest guardian, Humbaba, a creature of pure
His face was a swirling mass of intestines, his gaze a weapon that could turn a man to stone.
The beast charged, his 7 layers of terrifying aura blazing. Do not be afraid, my brother!
The battle was ferocious. Gilgamesh was thrown back, his divine strength no match for the monster's raw power. But Enkidu, quick as a leopard, struck from the flank, distracting the great beast and saving his friend. They fought like 2 wild bulls against a raging lion, their courage the only thing keeping them alive.
Hear me, great God! Do not abandon us! And the sun god answered. From the heavens he unleashed the 10 great winds. The winds swirled around Humbaba, striking his face, blinding his eyes. He could...
With the monster ensnared, the heroes closed in, their weapons ready for the final, decisive blow.
The great beast's fury turned to fear. Spare me, Gilgamesh, he begged.
Do not listen, my brother. Show no mercy. Evil must be destroyed completely, or it will return to haunt you.
Heeding his friend's warning, Gilgamesh hardened his heart. He swung his great axe in a mighty arc. The first blow was struck by the king, the second by his friend Enkidu. The great monster fell. They had done the impossible. They had slain the unslayable and brought peace to the sacred forest. As a sign of their victory, they felled the tallest of the sacred cedars, a prize for their city and a testament to their deed. They fashioned a great raft and sailed down the Euphrates, carrying the monster's head as their trophy.
They returned to Uruk as triumphant heroes. Gilgamesh had made his name eternal, just as he had wished.
Gilgamesh washed his filthy hair, put on his finest robes, and set his crown upon his head. His glory was radiant.
His fame reached the heavens. The great goddess Ishtar, goddess of love and war,
Come to me, Gilgamesh, and be my husband. I will give you a chariot of lapis lazuli and gold, and demons will pull it for you.
But Gilgamesh, flush with victory and arrogance, looked upon the goddess and laughed. And what would I give? You are a ruin from which the cold blasts forth, a palace that crushes its heroes.
You loved the shepherd, and then you turned him into a wolf, to be chased by his own flock.
You loved the lion, mighty in strength, and then you dug for him 7 and 7 pits.
If you loved me, you would treat me as you treated them.
She would not be mocked. She would have her revenge.
She demanded her father unleash the bull of heaven, a colossal beast of divine destruction, to lay waste to Uruk.
If I do this, there will be 7 years of famine.
I have prepared for it. Unleash the bull.
And so, the bull of heaven descended. A monstrous creature whose breath With its first snort, a chasm opened in the earth, swallowing 200 men. It rampaged through the streets of Uruk, a force of divine fury that no mortal army could stop.
But the 2 heroes stood ready. They charged into the chaos, their courage unshaken, to face the wrath of a god.
The great beast lowered its horns and charged at Enkidu, intent on goring him. But Enkidu, with the speed of the wild, dodged the attack and seized the beast by its thick tail.
My friend, we have it now. Trust your skill. Gilgamesh, like an expert butcher, danced before the bull, waiting for the perfect moment to strike.
As Enkidu held it fast, Gilgamesh plunged his sword deep between the nape and the horns, striking the killing blow.
The mighty bull of heaven fell. The city was saved. The people erupted in cheers for their saviors.
They tore out its heart and offered it to the great god Shamash, a tribute to the one who had aided them.
Woe to Gilgamesh, who has sullied me and killed the bull of heaven! I curse you, Enkidu, for this outrage! Here, take this, you wretched goddess! If I could reach you, I would do the same to you.
The insult was the final straw. Ishtar's fury solidified into a cold, unbreakable vow of vengeance.
Oh, woe! Woe for the bull of heaven, slain by mortal hands!
The king summoned his craftsmen to marvel at the size of the bull's horns. He had them coated in lapis lazuli and set with gold, turning the instruments of destruction into trophies of his glory.
They washed their hands in the Euphrates, their victory complete. They felt invincible, untouchable, the masters of their own fate.
Who is the most glorious of heroes? Gilgamesh is the most glorious of heroes. That night, Uruk held a celebration unlike any other. The palace rang with joyous shouts.
The heroes, masters of the world, finally rested. But the world of the gods was not at peace. For that very night, the great gods assembled in council. Their faces were grim, their silence heavy with judgment.
Because they have slain the bull of heaven and killed Humbaba, the guardian of my forest.
One of the two must die. The one who insulted Ishtar. The one who tore the thigh from the...
But did they not kill the bull at my command? Why should the innocent one die?
You went down to them every day as one of their own. The decision is made. Enkidu must die.
The divine decree was passed.
Their triumph had been great.
That night, as the heroes slept, the decree of the gods came to pass, and Enkidu dreamt a terrible dream. He was dragged down the road of no return, towards the house of dust, the dwelling place of the dead. There he saw the kings of old, their crowns set aside, serving dust as their meat and clay as their bread.
They were clothed like birds, with wings for garments.
Enkidu awoke with a start, his body trembling. He told his friend of the grim fate that awaits all mortals in the afterlife.
May he be cursed for what he has done.
Oh, Cedar Gate, if I had known my fate, I would have smashed you to splinters with my axe. And the trapper who found me, may his livelihood be small, may the beasts he hunts always escape him. And you, Shamhat, who brought me from the wild, may your life be one of misery and scorn.
But the god Shamash heard his cries from the heavens. Why do you curse her, Enkidu? She who fed you the bread of gods.
She gave you fine clothes, and she brought you to the mighty Gilgamesh, your dearest friend, your brother.
He will mourn you with a great mourning. He will let his hair grow matted and wander the wild in a lion's skin for your sake. Enkidu's bitter heart was soothed. He retracted his curse and turned it into a blessing, wishing Shamhat a life of honor and riches. But the sickness did not leave him. For one day he lay ill, then a second, a third. Gilgamesh never left his side. He, who could fell demons and slay divine beasts, was powerless against this silent enemy. For 12 days, the sickness consumed him. The mighty wild man, the equal of Gilgamesh, was reduced to a whisper. The great king could do nothing but watch, weeping like a lioness who has lost her cubs, his heart breaking with every passing hour.
In the forest, we stood together.
And then, at the dawn of the 13th day, Enkidu's journey ended. He was gone. Gilgamesh sat beside him, touching his heart, but it did not beat. A profound silence fell over the world. He veiled his friend's face like a bride, but he could not accept it. He sat by the body, waiting for a sign.
For 6 days and 7 nights, he watched over his friend.
But on the 7th day, a maggot fell from his friend's nose, and the terrible finality of death crashed down upon the king.
A roar of grief tore from Gilgamesh's throat, not of a king, but of a wounded animal.
My friend, my brother whom I love so dearly, who ran with the wild asses and the panther of the steppe.
We who have conquered all things, who climbed the mountains and seized and killed the bull of heaven.
What is this sleep that has seized you? You have become dark and cannot hear me.
He summoned the craftsmen of the land to fashion a statue of his friend, of gold and precious stones, a memorial for all time. He held a great funeral, offering treasures to the gods of the underworld, hoping to ease his brother's path in the House of Dust.
But the death of his friend had broken Gilgamesh. For the first time, the mighty king felt fear.
Not of monsters or men, but of the endless dark that had claimed Enkidu.
Shall I not die too? Am I not like Enkidu? Grief has entered my heart. I am afraid of death.
A new, desperate quest was born from his grief. He would find the secret of eternal.
He would seek the one man who had cheated death, Utnapishtim the Faraway, the survivor of the Great Flood.
And so, he began his final quest.
His journey was one of madness and sorrow. He fought lions in the mountain passes, his grief making him a fearsome hunter.
Its gate was kept by 2 terrible scorpion beings. Their terror was...
The one who comes to us. His body is the flesh of the gods. Why have you come so far? Why have you traveled this impossible road?
Gilgamesh told them of Enkidu, and of his desperate quest to find an answer to the riddle of death.
The way is forbidden. No mortal has ever passed through the dark road of the sun. But we will open the gate for you.
They opened the mountain gate, and Gilgamesh entered the path of the sun, a tunnel of 12 leagues of pitch-black darkness. He ran through a darkness so profound, so complete, that he could see nothing behind him and nothing before him. It was a desperate race against the sun, which would soon travel this path and burn him to ash. After 9 leagues, he felt a wind on his face. After 11, a glimmer of light appeared in the distance. And at the end of the 12th league, just as the sun's first rays were set to strike him, he burst forth into the light. He found himself in a garden of the gods, a paradise at the edge of the world, where the trees bore gems as fruit.
The branches were hung with carnelian, the vines with lapis lazuli. It was a sight no mortal had ever seen.
He walked through this impossible garden until he came to the edge of the sea.
Fearing he was a murderer, she barred her gate.
I am Gilgamesh, he who killed the guardian Humbaba, he who slew the bull of heaven. Open your gate!
If you are that Gilgamesh,
Why are your cheeks so emaciated? Why is your face so full of woe?
Why should I not be this way? My friend, my brother who I loved, is now clay, and I...
Gilgamesh, where are you hurrying? The life which you look for you will never find.
As for you, Gilgamesh, fill your belly with good things. Day and night dance and be merry. For this is the task of mankind.
I must see Utnapishtim. Which is the way? If it is possible, I will cross the sea.
There is Urshanabi, the ferryman. He is with the Stone Ones. Seek him out.
Gilgamesh found the ferryman in the forest. But in his grief and rage, he saw the Stone Ones as a threat.
He lifted his axe and his dagger, fell upon them like an arrow, and smashed the Stone Ones to pieces.
With your own hands you have smashed them. Those stone things propelled our boat. You have made our crossing impossible. Take your axe, cut 300 poles, each 6 cubits in length. They will be our only way across.
Gilgamesh did as he was told, his rage replaced by the hard labor of his penance. He prepared the poles for the perilous journey.
They boarded the boat and set out upon the sea. But these were not normal waters. These were the waters of death.
Do not let your hand touch the water, for it is death itself. Use the poles to push us. Gilgamesh took a pole, pushed them along, and discarded it. He took a second.
He used all 300 poles, a journey that took them a month and a half, until at last they saw a distant shore.
There he stood, before Utnapishtim the faraway. He looked not like a god.
Why do you come here?
Once more, Gilgamesh poured out his heart, telling of his love for his brother and his terror of the grave.
I have come to you, Utnapishtim, to ask you the secret of life and death. How did you find eternal life?
There is no permanence. Do we build a house to stand forever? Is a contract sealed for all time?
The gods established life and death, but the day of death they do not reveal. It is the unchangeable fate of mankind.
But Gilgamesh pressed him. And so Utnapishtim agreed to tell him a secret of the gods.
The great gods decided to send a flood. Their hearts were set on destroying mankind.
But the god Ea, in his wisdom, spoke to my house of reeds, warning me of the coming doom. I built the boat in 7 days, and loaded upon it my family, my craftsmen, and the seed of all living things.
For 6 days and 7 nights the storm raged. The world was turned back into water. When the storm ended, my boat came to rest on Mount Nimush. I sent out a raven, and
my gift was unique, Utnapishtim explained. A reward for a specific event.
Who will
conquer sleep, and perhaps you can conquer death.
For 7 days he slept. The decaling bread was the proof of his mortality. He had failed the simplest test.
My husband knows of a secret plant. It grows beneath the waves and can restore your lost.
With his last ounce of hope, Gilgamesh plunged into the abyss. He found the plant, and, on his way home, he bathed in a pool of cool water. But a serpent smelled the plant's sweet fragrance and slithered from the grass. The snake seized the plant and instantly shed its skin, reborn. He returned to Uruk with nothing. No friend, no immortality, no restored youth. He had failed completely. Go up on the wall of Uruk and walk around. Inspect the foundation. Scrutinize the brickwork.
In that moment, he finally understood. Man cannot live forever. But what a man builds. His quest to defeat death had failed. But the story of that quest
humanity's first great epic,